Welcome everyone to the top releases of 2019 Part 1. I am your host, Christopher Adam, and this is For the Rock. Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming back and checking out For the Rock. This episode is something special. It was one of my favorite things to do last year. We're taking a look back at our favorite Christian metal and hard rock albums from 2019. And with me today, I got a very, very special guest, my man Peter, who started Christian Metal Source and has allowed me to have this platform to kind of host this podcast, and it's been nothing but great for the last just over a year now that I've been part of Christian Metal Source. And so we're gonna do what we did last year. I don't know if you guys listened to our top 10 of 2018 episode, but we kind of went back and forth. I have clips that Peter was kind enough to send me all the way from India. I'm in Canada. And we're doing this podcast together and sharing our favorite picks with you guys. And unlike last year, I think what I'm going to do to kind of keep this episode just a little bit shorter, instead of being one hour-long episode, I'm going to split it into two parts. So we're going to cover the first 10 to 6 picks in this episode. And we will cover all the remaining picks in the part 2, which will hopefully only be about a week or so. Also, I just want to take a quick note of the first band that you guys just heard in the intro, The Persuaded. They released a new album this year with Rockfest Records called Dawn of Destruction, and it didn't make our top 10 list, unfortunately, but there are a few honorable mentions that I do want to give a shout out to, because I think they are definitely more than worthy of your time and attention. So The Persuaded with their album Dawn of Destruction is our first honorable mention. We'll have a few spread out between the episodes, and we'll probably end off this one with a couple of them as well. Now, before we get to the music, I just want to give a quick disclaimer that all the band names and the songs that were used are going to be in the description or in the credits, depending on if you're on YouTube or Bandcamp. If you guys hear something you like and you can't quite remember, you can always just do a quick check on that list. Not just yet. Do not look at that list just yet. Don't spoil it for yourselves. I won't keep you guys waiting any longer here. So we're going to kick it off with my number 10 pick of 2019, and this goes to a new artist. They released their debut self-titled EP, and they're called Collapse Revive. And these guys have a really unique sound, and they have some really sick, solid biblical lyrics. This song that I'm going to share with you guys has some really sick vocals. Just the way that the singer does some of these screams. I don't know if I would quite call it pig squealing. I guess it has like a little bit of an element of that, but I honestly am not super technical on the different types of screaming, but it's really cool. That's what I know. Yeah, this song covers the topic about the Antichrist, and this is probably one of the best songs talking about that since Murderer by Impending Doom. So this is the song Antichrist by Collapse Revive off of their self-titled debut album out in 2019. And this is my number 10 pick.
Resurrection, false salvation. I never thought I'd see it come to fruition. Don't claim his name. You don't carry my shame. Don't claim his name. You don't carry my shame. Your facts of scripture bleeding misfit. Have you never read this?
What's up, folks? This is Peter, and it is good to be back with you guys on this episode of the podcast. Firstly, a huge thank you to everyone that has been giving us your time and attention. It really means a lot to us. Really, thank you for all that support and for sticking with us. I hope you guys enjoy the next couple of minutes listening to some of the best jams of the year, which I think, in my opinion, deserves to be on this list. Nevertheless, I really look forward to hearing about your favorites, your list of top 10 or even top 5 maybe. Don't forget to let us know what your picks are under the comment section below, or even write to us maybe. We'd be more than happy to check it out. Anyway, with that being said, I'd like to wish every single metalhead listening to this episode a very happy, blessed, and of course a Christ-centered, spirit-filled New Year 2020. And secondly, I want to quickly thank my man Christopher Adam for allowing me to do this. I really appreciate all that you do and all the efforts you put into this, man. Really, thank you so much once again. We have Crucify the Flesh at number 10. The Word of God says that for since it was by a man that death came into this world, it is also by a man that the resurrection of the dead has come. For just as in Adam all die, so also in Christ will all be made alive. That's 1 Corinthians 15. But the concept cannot be considered as a deal breaker here, thanks to the simple language on the lyrics. Very well written, yet complex in many ways, and should not be taken lightly. The message behind this album goes to show the amount of passion and love a band can have for the gospel of Jesus Christ. You'd feel that strong sense of awakening that gets its way to the listener through thoughtful reasoning amidst the album. The guys have put in a lot of hard work, and I'm sure some of you got a taste of this band on episode 4, if you guys remember, on the For the Rock podcast. It was really cool hearing Chris do his first band feature with one of the guys from Crucify the Flesh. It was the vocalist Jake Potter, allowing us to more like premiere a song of the new album before the release. Truly appreciate him for doing that and taking the time off to talk about the album to the community. He was also talking about the concept behind this brilliant full length called Death Rebirth. I would urge you to pick this one up on digital platforms wherever music is sold. I love the lyric video for Seed. While you listen to it now, you may also want to look it up on their YouTube channel.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that track from Crucify the Flesh, and I'm gonna save you guys a little bit of time here and say that they are my number 9 on my list. And yeah, this album is just super solid. It's got a lot of good tracks. It's got super in-depth biblical solid lyrics, and I'm going to show you guys a track that's one of my favorites from this album, and it's actually a cover of a worship song. I thought this song was older than it is, but apparently it came out like 2008, 2009 from Hillsong, and it's called Desert Song. And, if you've been a Christian a long time and in a church, you've probably heard this song. I feel like it was pretty popular, about 10 years ago. But yeah, these guys did a super legit hard rock metal cover of this song, and it's definitely a standout. And also, guys, don't just check out Death Rebirth, but check out Crucify the Flesh's first album, Bare Fruit, that came out in 2015. If you guys like Sleeping Giant for today, if you're into like that kind of lyrical content and sound, like, check these guys out. It's worth your time. But here we go. This is Crucify the Flesh with my number 9 pick, and this is their track, Desert Song.
My next pick would be a new group called Nothing Left from the Facedown Family at number 9. The 6-song EP Destroy and Rebuild came out something like 2 years ago, and it was pretty heavy in my honest opinion, but I wasn't sure if the guys toured after that. And also back then I wasn't really paying attention to the member lineup, and it kind of blew me away when I came to realize that we had guitarists from For Today on this joint. When the new single Dust into Dust came out a couple of months ago, I got all interested about it and found out that former members of Silent Planet and A Bullet for Pretty Boy were going to be featured on this first full length. The album offers some legit traditional hardcore. If you don't like the cleans or the melodic stuff on your hardcore content, then you could easily dig into this one.
Just recently, I gave Demon Hunter a second shot, listening to War more thoroughly on a long road trip, and actually, sat there and listened to it. And I'll admit, when their 2 albums, War and Peace, first came out, they didn't catch me like some of their previous albums, but there was a few standout tracks for sure. And now, just more recently listening to them, I almost actually, when I was putting this list together, it was so difficult this year. And I had Demon Hunter off of it, which kind of blew my mind that Demon Hunter released an album and I didn't think it was in the top 10 albums of the year. But after giving it some more listens, I actually put this one not even just inching in at number 10, I pushed it up to 8, which matches Peter. But with one caveat, I'm kind of cheating with this one. I am actually only putting it on the list as a double album combined. So I'm counting this as War and Peace. It's a double album, quote unquote. So I'm just putting it as one. If it was just War or if it was just Peace, probably not. War is definitely the stronger side of it for sure. But I think the package as a whole, with the contrasting artwork and genres that are mixed into the 2 albums combined, definitely make this album what it is as a whole. So this is my number 8 pick. It's Demon Hunter with War and Peace together. And this track that I'm going to let you guys hear is my favorite track off both albums. And I think it's one that just lyrically I just really love the concept and where they go with it. And the chorus goes, "So now, where is the enemy? I can feel no bite. Where is the enemy when death is on my side?" And I just really like what this is portraying. And it's just like a taunt to the enemy, because it's saying, where are you? Like, I can't feel the attack. I can't feel your bite, because even in death, we're given life. So there's nothing that he can do to us through Jesus. And so, yeah, here's the clip of "On My Side" by Demon Hunter.
I see shadows, devils decline. I've lost my faith in us, found my design. So now, where is the
I'm gonna keep it short and quick on this one because Demon Hunter is at number 8 on the list with the album War, and clearly the band needs no introduction. So tell me, when was the last time you came across a double album? Well, I for one have known none, but what Demon Hunter did with Peace and War is pretty remarkable. To have 2 new albums released on the same day is probably the rarest thing a band could ever do. That being a cool move, I thought I'd give it a shot. The album Extremist was 100% satisfying, and I recall telling myself that I'd probably pass up anything that came after. But I gotta say, this one does not disappoint. War is a very distinct compilation in relation to Peace. The album serves up plenty of melodeath and metalcore inspired material. I don't think I will ever complain about the catchy choruses from any one of Demon Hunter's songs for that matter. With War, the aggression is kept at a fair balance, and I feel both albums maintained the integrity of that typical Demon Hunter sound we're all used to. In my opinion, the band doesn't seem to get the respect they deserve. The problem with that, I think, is the reach they've had so far, and also the new listeners to a certain degree, just for the lack of knowledge they have about the genre itself. Being overrated and equally underrated at the same time is not that much of a problem to me, but is something I've noticed for a while now. But that in no way has stopped these dudes from excelling. You're listening to Leave Me Alone by Demon Hunter.
Tomorrow's eclipse and the burning crystal that's bound to be.
right, guys, that was another honorable mention that we just had to talk about. We had to give you guys a little preview. If you guys haven't heard of these guys, they're What We Do in Secret. Their new Face Down Records signing. They released their debut label debut, Repose, back in November. I've known of these guys for quite a while. They actually released their debut EP back in 2013, and then another one, The Migration, in 2014. And but since then, as far as I can remember, it's just kind of been radio silence. They maybe have been playing shows, but that's a 5-year gap between music, and maybe they released a single in that time. I can't quite remember, but it's nice to have them back and also have them on Face Down. It's just a really cool signing. And yeah, this was the track Silhouette, which was one of the first singles they dropped, and it just caught me, just the way it comes in, and it's just a great track to open up with. And sorry to the fans. We realize this year our list is super core heavy, metalcore, hardcore, and so we know there's quite a few of you guys who aren't super into that, but that's just realistically that's where we found a lot of our favorite music this year, and that's also generally speaking the most of where the Christian metal scene is in general. So who knows, maybe this coming year in 2020 there'll be some some different genres that we'll be able to get into, and maybe next year will be a slightly more diverse list. But you know what, this list this year is super solid, and there's definitely something for everyone on it. So I'm going to move into my number 7 pick. Sorry about the rambling there. But yeah, my number 7 pick is a new band to Solid State, and they're called Empty. And they released their debut album, Hope and the Loss of It. And I believe I'm going to show you guys a snippet of the title track. And they just got some really cool melodic hardcore vibes going on. I don't know. I don't even want to classify what it is, but if you liked They're Only Chasing Safety or Define the Great Line era Under Oath, who doesn't? I think you'll probably hear a little bit of influence in there, and yeah, just some of the guitar work. It's super sick. So this is Empty.
Alright, hear me out. Corey Brandon is probably the most talented vocalist ever. And I would not like to change my mind about that. I don't know. But I'm sure some of you would strongly agree with me. And some of you may not, which I totally respect. But I feel that referring to Corey in this way might be a dominating factor about the band's reputation itself. But I want to know what your thoughts are. We've all been used to those meaty riffs and catchy yelling choruses on Wrongdoers and Polar Similar. But for Norma Jean, rejoining Solid State family was a pretty good comeback in my opinion. Never thought that All Hail would be such a big hit. No doubt about the stunning musicianship all in all. Some of these guys, if not all from Norma Jean, have rendered groundbreaking heavy music for nearly 2 decades now. As far as the lyrics go or the direction of the band, I would be concerned to a certain degree, but the scene will always have my prayers in this regard. And I'd like for emerging artists and bands and metalheads to take the best from these guys. So at number 7, it's All Hail the Almighty Norma Jean. So strap yourself down because you're about to listen to Landslide Defeater.
Feel so cold. It breaks the world in half, so the crowd won't shake so hard.
It is going to be Sightline. Up next is pick number 6. Heavily influenced by bands in the likes of Living Sacrifice, Haste the Day, Zao, August Burns Red, Demon Hunter, this album, titled By Design, has exceeded my expectations for a newcomer, with a debut album such as this one sounding this good and not far from perfect. That is to say that the potential within these guys could make a phenomenal difference in the future of Christian metal industry. The guys in Sightline have been huge fans of Christian metal for a very long time now, and coming together and creating this band is probably one of the best decisions they've made, if I could say that. You can tell from the lyrics, the guys are not ashamed of their faith. It is who they are, and they wear it like a badge. Without a doubt, a notable, praiseworthy, and the best unsigned album of the year. Loads of harmony and melody, impressive vocals, and you're going to get a bit of every style you're mostly aware of under the subgenres. The instruments synchronize extremely well throughout this album, plus intense breakdowns on almost all the tracks, sudden tempo adjustments. The atmosphere changes every time the cleans come in, and some of those lead parts on the guitar go hand in hand with the stunning riffs, and particularly the bass and the drums. They do a perfect job to help facilitate that progressiveness. Watch out for these guys, and so here's Hollow Heart.
Alright guys, this is my sixth pick for the top 10 of 2019, and this is also my last pick of this episode. As I was saying before, just because to kind of keep the length down, and just so we can actually spend the right amount of time on each of these tracks, we're going to split this list into 2 parts. So we'll hear the rest of the list next week. But before we do that, I'm going to give you guys my 6th pick. And this band Oh, I am so happy they exist. This is something that I've been waiting for, something that sounded like this for such a long time. Um, they're a mix of hardcore and metalcore and new metal, and they kind of try and imagine POD turned into more of like a metal band or something heavier than they were. So yeah, without a further ado, these guys are called Relent, and they released their debut EP called Heart Attack. And just every single song on this EP is great. They're super worshipful lyrics, which is awesome. And the artwork is super cool. But yeah, I'm going to give you guys a listen to the kind of like breakdown of a song called Addicted. And this was one of those moments where it's like they're not necessarily doing anything like groundbreaking, but like the combo of everything they're doing production wise, with like the vocoder kind of effect on the vocals during this. When I heard it, it just blew my mind, and I just couldn't get over this section of the song. But the entire thing, the entire EP is just so good. Please go and check these guys out. And yeah, so here is a snippet of the song called Addicted.
It makes no difference to me what they say, what they know. Tell them when it all comes down, I'm not ready to go. What they say, what they know. Tell them when it all comes down, I'm not ready to go. What they say, what they know. Tell them these boys rock the rock, we're not gonna stop. What they say, what they know. Tell them these boys rock the rock. I can't get enough, enough, enough. I'm addicted to your love, your love, your love. Gave you my everything, you became everything. Now I'm addicted, addicted to you.
All right, guys, this is the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, this was just part 1 of 2. We got the remaining 5 picks from both Peter and I in the next coming episode, probably in about a week or so. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for all your support over the last year and a bit that I've been a part of Christian Metal Source, and also for all your support over the years that Peter has been doing this with Christian Metal Source as well. If you guys are listening to this on YouTube, please guys give this a like. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought. What were your picks? You know, you could follow along with this one and just do number 10 to 6. Let us know what those picks were, or if you only have 5 or so, just in general, give us your whole list. And yeah, we're super interested in hearing what you guys thought of our list, but also just this year in general. I think it was super solid and super epic, and I cannot wait for what 2020 will bring. Also, don't forget, you guys, we have a bunch of stuff over on christianmetalsource.bandcamp.com, where you can stream and download the podcast, but you can also download some great albums. We got 3 compilation albums that were put out over the years, and the most recent one in this past summer of 2019. I'm just going to leave you guys off with one more honorable mention track, and this is going to be White Noises by My Epic off of their latest EP, Violence. And yeah, it's kind of a bummer that this one didn't make our top 10. I just trying to narrow down this list was so insanely difficult, and all of these albums that we're talking about definitely are worthy of being on this list. So yeah, here we go. This is White Noises by My Epic, and we will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for listening. God bless.